Can you tell us about the situation in IDP camps, like for you, your family, and also for all the Yazidis in IDP camps? How was the situation, and also getting out of the genocide? Like, how was the situation knowing about what's happening also in the mountain, like back there?
Yeah, Dal. So we arrived to Khanke camp. It was the life in camp. It was the beginning of building camp, and actually I started working voluntarily to actually help family to put their tents, because they come and they distributed tents for people before building the more organized camp that exists until today. The life in camp was tragic. The cries of our mothers and children are, people were hopeless, people were all waiting, their captives. The story, we hear the story of people doing suicides, and the sounds of mothers and people who lost their beloved one, or who actually didn't know anything about their beloved one. Their cries are, they don't leave my mind even for a moment until even today, 7 years after. Life was tragic. People were out of any hope, waiting for support, ending up leaving everything behind, everything they knew, everything they loved, and waiting for support. We I remember moments that we were only depending on like humanitarian organization come to distribute some food, some furniture for our camp, and we just become numbers all these lives. I remember I was with my family going to bring some, actually that time was some water, and they just called us a number, not even our names. They just called us numbers. In that moment, I was just thinking, is it normal that we just turn it to numbers and statistics and for waiting? So brother, life in camp, there is not, at the beginning especially, there was not even a very basic services for life. People as a whole community of the camp are traumatized, and the camp was not secure at all. In Khanke, at the beginning, in the first year in 2014, we even got shoots from other side of the Tigris River to the camp. 1 kilometer around camp, they bombed it from out there. That was the moment even people started fleeing from the camps. So even that point was not secure. But I started my let's say become advocating, reporting, writing, raising the voice more actively after the mountain small missions I did, and then more actively I started in the camp. I started working with humanitarian organization, journalists, becoming translator. I developed my English, and I was also student in university in Department of Biology. In 2014, I was in the second stage of my university. So I started studying and working in a humanitarian field, trying to bring the possible attention and support for the people who actually lost everything. And unfortunately, those people who are still until 7 years are there. I was lucky because my uncle was a security guard for a French consulate in Erbil, and he was in his holiday in August with us. And when we came back and we survived it, we reached to the camp. He got a call from the consulate of France, and they called him come, and he went to see them. They asked him, we know you lost everything, because the story of Shingal was quite on big media that days. So they told him, what do you want? He just told them, let me just leave this country, me and my children. So my uncle got opportunity thanks to the French consulate, they found for him a sponsor in France. When he left us in 2015, when he got his visa to travel to France, I write a letter on behalf of my mom and I hand it to him. My dad helped me in writing that letter, and my mom was speaking. My mom is illiterate, but the idea was her idea. I tell you and write. So we wrote a letter that my mom explained the story, calling for support, asking for someone to find solution for her and her children, to find the opportunity to get out. We waited until the end of 2017 until someone reacted and actually provided us a shelter and started the asylum seeker process for us. We arrived at France in the 4th of November 2017. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just feel you, like when I moved from Iraq, even though I left my whole family behind, it was a kind of like hope for me that one day I will also reunite with my family, because the purpose of many Yazidis is to get out of Iraq after they have been through all that atrocities, through all that trauma, through all that poor condition in the IDP camps. So you with your family came to France. Can you tell us about like how did you feel, how your family whole felt after you went through all that and now you are in France, like feeling that freedom and also speaking up for your people, and also you started an organization, Voice of Yazidis, to become a voice for your people and also to advocate for your people. So can you tell me the difference between you, Farhad, who was in Iraq facing a genocide, went through a lot of all that atrocities, and now Farhad, who is became a voice for your people?
Yeah, for leaving Iraq, we feel that there is some hope of continuing and finding finally stability and security. It was not easy. We went to Erbil, and actually we stuck in Erbil for 8 days because of the weather, and all the travels were cancelled. And then to Baghdad. So it was not easy to actually leave, and we get like so depressed even on our way to France. But as I said, at November 2017, we arrived to the airport of Charles de Gaulle, who's actually one of the biggest airports in let's say in the world, or mainly in Europe. And there was a representative of Yazda organization who actually came to welcome us and to take us to the hotel, and then we moved to the we moved to the south, arriving to the airport, and I see we go to the train station, and the life was so fast. There is buses, there is trains, and we just feel lost. And I said, if this life looked like this, and I was just telling between myself, I'm sorry, it's not possible to live this life. And you can imagine we come from a small village from south, north of Shingal Mountain, and arriving Paris, it's one of the biggest, most crowded city in the world. So, but yeah, we are lucky because once we arrived to south of France, we found incredible people who were waiting for us, who were looking so forward to see us. And reaching to France, it was not, we got something happened to us, which was in my dad and my mom always take all our documents in one bag, because they didn't have a lot of confidence on all their children to actually secure that. But because we were so tired, and my brother who carried that bag, actually we left all our important documents in the train. And the train left the station. So we didn't even enjoy the moment of arriving in France, because we just arrived paperless, and we cannot even start a process of asylum, because every paper that we can depend on can prove our identity is just when. But fortunately, we made a declaration directly in the airport, and in like 1 month, we got a call from Marsilia, a station that was a stop ending station for the train, that come and take your documents. So we got all our documents, we got asylum, we started the asylum process, and we were welcomed by two French people who actually they were survivors from the Second World War, and themselves they lived as a refugee. And the first thing he told me, he was speaking very good English, and the first thing he told me, he said, "I wait you and I want to support you because I feel you, because I experienced it myself in one era of this world." So yeah, we directly started to integrate ourselves in the French society by learning the language, by us studying, by sometime working. Then for me personally, I said, in order to continue more actively working in Ezidi, on the cause of Ezidi people, to raise our voice, to advocate for the fundamental right of my people, I should do something in France. I started in that small village called Gran in the south near to Lyon. I started to gathering, and my mom started cook for people, and we start sharing awareness, making. So in few weeks, we let all the people around to know who are Yazidi. And we get a lot of contacts, and we were able to actually sponsor more people. We were the second family arriving to that region. Now in that region called Dom, we are 15 family, 86 people in that region. It's a unique example of integration. But that region was not good to advocate. I wanted to go to bigger city, to be close to the international organization, to government, to decision makers. Therefore, I decided to go to Paris. And in Paris, I was able to work in an anti-racist federation in Europe, one of the biggest anti-racist federation. I started working as a volunteer for 8 months in that organization, where I met a dynamic team of young people who helped me a lot to create Voice of Yazidis. And one of them till today is a project director with Voice of Yazidi, and 2 others of these people are still advising. Voice of Yazidi is the organization that we founded, and 3 other Yazidi in France, with the help of these European people. The objective is to help Ezidi to be integrated, to support the asylum seeker process, and also to advocate and lobby for the fundamental right of Ezidi community. And one of the main also mission that we are working on three main area, which is integration, education and sharing awareness, and lobbying and advocating. This is what Voice of Yazidis do. Today we are having an international network of partners. We lead project in Iraq, in France, and also we got the recognition from French state. We are cooperating with French Minister of Interior and French deputies to improve and to push more for facilitating and providing more support for the Yazidi refugees or asylum seekers in France.